So there is a question first that Baba yesterday pointed out that our problem is that our mind is not still, intellect is wandering, and we are under the influence of old sanskars. And I agree that that is my problem, but what is the solution? Okay, so Baba has given the solution also. Didn't you get it? So, okay, we will listen to the solution. So, you see that Baba says that your mind is not still. In Hindi, Baba says chanchal man. Now, why does our mind become like that? So, our mind becomes like that because our mind gets attached to everything that is not still in this old world. So the mind absorbs the quality of all that is always in a flux in this old world. And that is why the mind also becomes very not still. So we have to understand this quality of the mind, that whatever you focus your mind on, the mind will start absorbing that quality. Yes. So, have you seen that in other practices of meditation where they don't know Baba, they try to always focus on a physical point, or they try to, on a flame or on burning light. They would try to focus their mind. Why? Because that is still. So anything that is still, if you focus your mind on that, then your mind will also become still. And that is the quality of the mind. Now you see, if you are attached to any person or any situation which is always going up and down, so their behaviors are very unpredictable, or you are attached to some situation or some phenomena in the world which is always like this, then your mind also starts becoming very flickering. So let me give you one example. These days people do stock market trading, and stock markets are very volatile, and especially when they do day trading. So when they do day trading, then it's always going like this. So, one time it's a rise, next time it's a fall, and your mind is attached to that. Then if you notice in those people who do especially day trading, not the other one, if you notice the change in them, their minds become very unstable, because you are attaching your mind to some phenomena in the world which is never certain. And similarly, you notice anybody, any within yourself also. If you are in a relationship where your heart is attached to somebody who has very unpredictable behavior, then your mind becomes very unstable, because you are always thinking about them, and then you don't know what to think, and then you are in one emotion one time, another feeling another time. So that becomes the quality of your mind. So you have to understand why your mind has become like this, because as everything in the world, right from the quality of souls to matter, it starts becoming tamo pradhan. Then tamo pradhan means the certainty is lost, and it becomes more and more uncertain. And when it becomes more and more uncertain and your heart is attached to it, then your mind starts having this quality of being in a flux always. And so Baba tells us this thing, and You look at even the body, sometimes. So I have seen people who have gut issues, they and the gut, or any part of the body for that matter, if it is behaving very erratically and you're very attached to the body, then your mind becomes very disturbed, because when that part of the body is fine, then you're fine, and whenever that's not fine, then you are worrying, and then slowly, gradually, that becomes the quality of your mind. And then even when things are okay, you have started having that quality. Now, how are people trying to solve this problem in the world? They are trying to live with the hope that the situation or the person or the organ of the body will become stable. And they are trying to live with that hope. And when that hope is kindled a little, then you feel better. And when that hope feels like an extinguishing light, then you feel even more disturbed. But that is not how you live with this. And I have also studied this and observed this, that when, many a times you are not able to come out of, you are not able to detach, or you don't put in the effort to detach yourself from some phenomena or some person who is so erratic in their behavior. You don't put enough effort to detach, but rather you put that much effort to hope and pray and have faith that they will become stable. And that is why, this toxicity in the world is increasing so much, because people are not willing to understand that this is how their mind is getting affected. And instead of choosing good mental health by practicing detachment, and detachment is not where you are having any complaints or having any, any regrets about anything. You just understand that this is not good for me, and you choose to detach mentally. You may live in the same space, you may do the same thing, but then you just choose to detach. And I'm also telling you, there is one brother, and he told me something very nice. He said that he does that day trading. So he said that earlier he used to be very disturbed because of that, but then he learned how to detach. And he said that, even now I do day trading, but I do it in a detached manner. He said it's very difficult. I'm telling you, it's very difficult, because then you have to detach from the profit and loss, this thing. But I made that effort, and now I am okay. I have a still mind and I still do that work. So you see, it is possible. But the interesting thing is, people don't make that effort to detach, rather than they make the effort to live, to constantly keep fueling that hope that that external phenomena will get stable. So that is the thing. Now, Baba says that how do you stabilize this jittery mind? So, for that, Baba has given us a very simple solution: Man Mana Bhav. For the mind, Baba says, Man Mana Bhav. Connect your mind to me and take your mind to me. So, your mind is, you take your mind to the soul world, which is very still, and then you take your mind and focus your mind on Baba. And Baba is very still, very silent, and an ocean of peace. And when you focus on your mind, on the stillness, on the peace of Baba, then your mind starts absorbing that quality. Your mind also starts becoming still and peaceful. And the more you practice this, the more, the quality of your mind starts changing. So then for some time you have to do a lot of conscious practice, but then it gets easier and easier day by day, and you reach a place where your mind is more or less still and stable all the time. And it requires constant practice, of course, but there is no substitute for only one thing: practice. And you have to take your mind to the soul world, which is a very still world, and to Baba, who is very still, very silent, very peaceful, very predictable, constant. So the more you connect your mind to Baba, you absorb that stillness and that peace from Baba. And this is the solution to a jittery mind. And then Baba talks about the intellect, wandering intellect. Now, why does the intellect wander? Because the intellect is searching for something. So when there is a quest, when there is a search, then your intellect wanders. And until that quest is quenched, your intellect will not stop wandering. And what is the quest for? So the interesting thing is, we have always thought that my quest is for power, fame, name, money, or love. But actually the quest is not for power, fame, money, or what you think is love. So but the quest is for knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, power, as Baba says it. Because the soul is made of these qualities. And then there is also a quest for relationships. And I remember there was this one very interesting thing I observed. There was this one Mata, and she used to have very good relationships with her hairdresser, her beautician, her, anybody who gave professional service to her. And I told her that, this is not a genuine relationship, because they love you, or they are, nice to you because you are their client. And then she said something very interesting that stayed with me. She said, but which relationship is genuine, sister, anyway? So, and what do? You live in a jungle with nobody. So I said, okay. So she said, do you think I don't know what I'm doing? So I know what I'm doing. I know I am buying love. But what other option is there? Because those who are giving it for a price are at least giving it longer than those who are giving it without a price. So then, so she's a very nice lady, and she told me this. And then I thought, that yes, this quest for relationships is so huge. And most people choose to be in relationships where they know that that relationship is not honest, or that relationship is not serving them well. But there is this quest for relationship, and nobody can live alone. And that is something very interesting that I have figured out. And there are many people who claim that I am happy with myself, but maybe so it is either the spiritual path that helps you go there, or it is some person who is really a very good relationship with you, and you don't realize that you are sourcing everything from them, so that's why you don't need other people. So, and when that source is gone, then you realize that no, I'm a very people's person, but it's just that all my needs were getting fulfilled in one place, so I was not social. So, these are things that I have observed over the years, and Baba says that so the human mind, the human intellect, they need what is called this sustenance, which or that the soul needs: knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, power. And then there are relationships that the intellect is searching for, and the love of all relationships. And even one relationship less is leading to a wandering intellect. So if you don't have the fulfillment of all relationships, then you're just looking, and you don't know where to look, so you're looking everywhere. So that's a wandering intellect, and that wandering intellect is very dangerous. So let me give you a cautionary note, because when the intellect is wandering, when the soul is not content, then the intellect wanders. And when the intellect wanders, it is, getting attached to everyone and everything. So, even momentary. So you feel like, you think about, your intellect goes to people, places, things just arbitrarily. But the law of spirituality says that whatever you are connecting your intellect with, you are bringing them into your destiny. So, maybe, sometimes, when you have a wandering intellect, when you're discontent within, then what you do is you start thinking about anybody or anything randomly. And sometimes you start thinking about, let me move to this place or live there, or let me have this, or let me go to the mountains and spend time there. And then what happens is, your intellect is getting this quality of wandering more and more. Okay. Second, you are attracting all of those unconnected, bizarre events into your life, and you are creating a very chaotic future for yourself. And be careful about what you want, you might get it. So then when you get all of that, then you say, I didn't ask for it, but you asked for it in very unconscious moments. So it is very important to take care of the wandering intellect, because this wandering intellect, it finds temporary peace, temporary love, temporary joy somewhere, and then it gets stuck there, and then you create a karmic account, and then it becomes very messy. So Baba says that if you realize the truth is that Baba is the source of all virtues, all powers, and all relationships. But you have to sit with Baba and experience them. Just knowing that doesn't help. So for experiencing the love that Baba gives you, you have to sit with the ocean of love and feel that love. Yes, so just think about the paradox of this world, that everybody today is vitamin D deficient, and the interesting thing is the source of vitamin D is sunlight, which is available to everybody. But why is everybody vitamin D deficient? Because people are not getting up on time and not taking that sunlight. So just having the source is not enough. You have to sit with the source. How do you fill yourself if you don't sit with the source? So Baba says the time and energy that you spend in wandering and looking for or searching for everything, that time and energy you spend by connecting to me. You spend that time and energy sitting with me and soaking in that which I'm giving. So sit with Baba and fill your heart with peace, with joy, with power. And Baba says, because you don't spend enough time, that's why Baba always says, remember me, remember me, remember me. Because if you remember Baba, you don't have to do anything else. But we are not doing that. And that's why there is so much wandering. So, Baba is available and giving everything, and you're searching for the same thing everywhere where it is not available, but not taking it from Baba. And in my experience, if you spend some 2 hours or something every day soaking this light and might from Baba, you will be very content and you will change from a beggar to a giver. That much I have experienced. So, and Baba says all relationships also. You see, Baba is making you worry free for 21 births. He's the ultimate father. But do I sit with this experience that I have the hand of the ultimate father, the supreme father on my head? So, Baba is giving me sustenance and inheritance both. Sustenance for the present time and inheritance for the future. And do I create this experience that I'm so well taken care of? So Baba is taking care of me, but do I sit in this realization that I'm so well taken care of, so well provided? Yes, so, or Baba is the supreme teacher, he has all answers, but do you sit and talk to the teacher? Do you sit with the ocean of knowledge and talk to him, or do you keep looking for answers where they don't exist? So do you sit with Baba and talk to Baba and listen to Baba and let him give you answers? And do you sit with the Satguru and take his blessings? Yes, and do you soak those blessings in? And do he's the beloved who never finds faults with you, who never abandons you. He is constantly there. So do you take that love from the beloved? Everybody says unconditional acceptance, and only Baba accepts us unconditionally. Baba has no problem with who we are. Baba only inspires us to do better. Baba never rejects us or, tells us that you are not enough or you are not proper. Baba never does that to us. And I have not seen a single human being not do that. Even the best of people do that to others. Yes, everybody, because this is a world of ego, and you cannot satisfy your ego without putting the other person down. This is the harsh reality, and that is why everybody in the world is pointing out defects, and not because there are defects. Of course there are defects, but there is no need to point that out. But why is that need arising? Because there is a lot of ego, and you want to boost your ego by doing that. So, and everybody is egoistic. There is no single person without an ego. So Baba says that, I'm giving you that unconditional love of the beloved, and I'm accepting you totally. I'm seeing only the beauty in you. I'm holding your hand, come what may. But do you sit and feel that love of, the beloved? Or so Baba says that until and unless you sit and soak in that which I am giving you, how will you arrive at that state of contentment? And if there is no contentment, your intellect will keep wandering. And a wandering intellect is very dangerous. It will attract all the bizarre and chaos of the world into your life. So, and just think about, I remember there was this one sister, and she said that she had a past relationship, and she kept thinking about that person whenever, her present life was not working well. And then she said that that person came back into her life, and but by now this person had become, he had become very different, and he had very different ways, and he was an alcoholic and this and that, and then he messed up her whole life. And then she said, but when I understood that I attracted him into my life, then I thought that this is so dangerous. And she said, if you ask me, I didn't want him back in my life, but because I had nothing better to think about, I kept thinking about him. So, but the thing is, thoughts become things. And if you have a wandering intellect, it will attract all the dust dust of the world and make your life a dustbin. So that is the thing. So Baba says that you must make this effort to have the sustenance of all relationships and all virtues and all powers from Baba. And when you do that, then the wandering intellect is, gone, and you have a very content heart. And third thing Baba says is old sanskars. So now old sanskars is, I remember there was this one brother, and he said that life changed me, and I want to go back to who I was. And I said, how were you? So what do you want to go back to? So he said, as I was a child. So I said, no, you can't go back to being a child, because when you were a child, you didn't have to fend for money and work, and, so you cannot go back to that reality which is contextual. So, that's not you. That was a different context, and that was a different you. But so in order to go back to your reality, you have to know your reality. And Baba tells us our reality. Nobody tells us that. Baba says, you are a soul who spent 2500 years in a world of divinity, and there, you were in a family, you were working, you were earning, you were doing everything, and you were viceless, and you were peaceful, and you were loveful, and you were joyful. So Baba says, remember that time, if you have to go back to that time, because any other time you had, there was a mixture of all sanskars. So Baba says, remember yourself as you really were. And then start, when you talk to yourself, so there is this very beautiful saying that Everybody knows in their heart who they really are. Yes, but do you? Because that which you think you are is not you. It is a version of you that time created. And you believe that is you. So, somewhere in this journey, you believe that this is me, this is my originality. No, that is not. And whoever you think you are, you will act out of that. So, there are many people who think I'm a lazy person innately, or I'm a person who doesn't care too much, or I'm a person who is very obsessive compulsive. So whatever you think about yourself is what is playing out. And Baba says, whatever idea you have about your sanskars is a wrong idea, because that is not your original sanskar. That is something that you acquired somewhere in the middle. And then you take that sanskar to be your original, and that starts playing out. So you have to remind yourself of who you really are with the light of knowledge. And when you do this, you have to invest your time and thought in it. And when you do that, then your original sanskars will come back. They will. So whatever you remind yourself of, you will start remembering them, and they will start coming to the forefront. So this is the method to overcome a wandering intellect, old sanskars, and a fickle mind. Okay, and so I hope that helps. And then there is this thing that Baba talks about in the Murli today, that Baba has come to reform our character. And people think that people think that I'm a man of character, a woman of character. But Baba tells something very deep today, that you cannot have any character if you're vicious. If there is a vice in you, if there is lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed, then you are a slave of the vice. And you will lose your character whenever that vice is triggered. So, so character is not how you behave. And you cannot, so of course a character is how you behave, but then how you behave cannot be certain if you are not viceless. Because anybody who is on their best behavior today can go to their worst when a vice is triggered. And then where is the character? So when you say solidarity of character, that means consistent behavior. And your behavior cannot be consistent if you are a slave of your vices. And a slave is not, a slave doesn't have authority. So you are not in a position to choose how you behave. So this character, and Baba says, deity characters, the character of being a well-wisher, a giver of good wishes, or this character of being a giver, this character you can only uphold when there are no vices. Because everybody is a giver until their ego is triggered, or their, everybody is pure until lust is triggered. So that is the thing about being a person of character. And Baba says that this is why only Baba makes us one with character. And when we remove our vices through the power of yoga and knowledge, then we become somebody who has great character. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti.
Many points today. So just maybe one of them is that there is no need to point out defects in other souls. I think the point that we want to point out the defects is because of our own ego, because somehow it does make you feel better by showing to other person, or maybe feeling to your own self that you are better than the other person. So that's definitely something to work on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Om
you.
Shanti.
Om Shanti. Yes. Anybody else? Hanji.
Om Shanti Didi.
Om Shanti.
Baba says just having the source available is not it. It's not enough. I need to spend my time and energy with it to just soak in his energy.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Anybody else would like to share?
Om Shanti Devi.
Om Shanti.
Today, while the classes were going on, I was caught up in one point that you say Baba has no problem with whoever we are. He's detached, and the same way he's loving. So if I imagine the character of God in this way, then it's so stable. That's why he's stable.
Yes.
Actually, this is the reason he's stable. He has no problem with whatever we do, however we behave or something. Yes. He is so stable because he is no way influenced by whatever we are doing.
Correct.
And then you say this line that we can only have a consistent behavior only if we do not be the slave of our vices.
Yes.
So these 2 points are actually coming to the same meaning.
Correct.
So this is. I will really think about it whole day. Thank you, Didi.
Thank you. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Didi. I still feel that Baba is detached, but he's loving, and he wants us to become like him.
Yes, of
because
course.
He's our father.
Yes.
And and when we come to the knowledge, we get to know, we are aware of our wandering intellect. Otherwise, we were not aware of our wandering intellect.
Of course.
And now we know that we have to, whenever our intellect wanders, we have to bring it back and focus it again on self, soul, and supreme soul. So,
yes.
I mean, it's a great tidbit, I think, after coming to knowledge.
Yes. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Didi.
Om Shanti.
Didi, Baba, today in the class, the point that thoughts becomes things was very, very concerning, because unknowingly we are thinking negative, and when they become true in our life, then we realize that we have attracted that thing.
Yes.
And when we get connected, and when we always make effort to remain in contact with Baba, then only we can have a stability in our behavior, in our intellect. Only then we can remain constant. Otherwise, when we are in contact with, when we are in influence of others, we always, our behavior keeps on changing, our attitude, our intellect keeps on wandering.
Yes, absolutely.
So, for stability, we have to remain in contact with Baba.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Om Shanti. Anybody else wants to speak?
Thank you, Didi.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti, Didi.
Om Shanti.
As today's topic was on wandering of mind and intellect, and I was in the class only, I was introspecting about my mind and intellect and where it goes and how it behaves, and all those points were coming to my mind. And 2 things that I like to share is that earlier that we invest so much of time in our body, first of all, that when we go for a blood test also, all those parameters we keep on checking that this is that, and we keep on discussing about this and that. But it is very difficult to convince others. But if I will convince myself that the solution is that I have to eat sattvic food, or I have to eat food or make food in remembrance of Baba and all, then I can detach myself from all these discussions also. And also I invest so much of time in that if you're going somewhere, what to wear and how, like what I should wear and all. Then now I think I'm embracing simplicity.
Yes.
I know that Baba likes simplicity, so that wasting of time, energy, all this is like my mind is getting stable and all.
Correct.
In all these aspects.
Correct.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you. Om Shanti. So choices, if you change your choices also, then you're, and of course everything that Baba teaches, it is helping us to stabilize the mind and stop the intellect from wandering. So all of Baba's Srimad is actually taking us back to purity. Okay. Om Shanti.